Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I'm Victor Akunna.
Oh, you're giving them a wave. Hi. If you're watching this, you might be on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you're notified when our content drops. Okay, and to every returning subscriber, I'm hugging you from here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for engaging with us again and again. At Foundation for Family Affairs, our mission is simple: to connect hearts and raise healthy families. So we're big about the state of things in your family. All right, let's not just be a family just moving on. Yes, we're married. Okay, but how are things there? How are the individuals in the family? And that takes us to what we'll be talking about today. All right, so this is a part 2 of the previous video, reasons your spouse may be unhappy. Okay, and in the first video we shared 4 points you want to listen to. You need to go watch it. Right, we gave some very punchy points there that we know can revolutionize things in every marriage. Okay, and when we say reasons, I wouldn't want our viewers to confuse depression with being unhappy. Okay, I just thought I'll throw that in. So if you think your spouse is depressed, maybe going through postnatal depression, okay, you need to seek medical help.
Absolutely.
Urgently.
Yeah.
So in this video we'll be sharing 5 things. Okay, and are you ready for this ride? Are you ready for this ride? Let's do it. Okay, so the first point is that there is overwhelming conflict. The spouse is unhappy. When we say overwhelming conflict, it's just too much. Okay, we're talking about frequency now. Okay, day in, day out, there's something to settle, there's something to deal with. Okay, and sometimes it might just be that those issues are not properly dealt with. Okay, so they lead to another issue and another issue, and the day you decide to even talk about it, what happens is there'll be radioactive intensity in the house. Everywhere will be charged, everywhere will be on fire. So when it's overwhelming for your spouse, what happens is some people can't take it, so they decide they back out. Okay, and just sit down to watch. So at this point, I'm making no suggestion, no opinion, no observation shared. I just sit down and just watch. Let's just roll. Let things just take their course. Okay, because they feel overwhelmed. It's too much. Where do I start talking? What do I even start talking? Which one? What do we point to? Okay, it's just a lot. So some people react that way. Okay, and for some decide to give you space. So they go away to do their own thing, and that begins to breed your intimacy, impacts your intimacy. Okay, because there's a disconnect there. All right, so why is your spouse unhappy? This may be one of the reasons to check. You want to say something?
Yeah, the natural habitat of people is love, is peace. They want to just feel comfortable. All right, they want to enjoy the company of the person. So if the closest person to you causes you pain on a consistent basis, all right, it gets to that point where for a guy just want to withdraw. They may want to just draw that line in their heart to be like, you know what, this is happening because I'm this vulnerable. I'm not going to be vulnerable anymore. And so they now begin to, gradually withdraw their emotion. It happens. It happens
with women.
It happens with women. Yeah, it happens on the job as well. So, for example, you've given your best to one particular company, giving your best, but when it's time for them to promote you, they promote somebody else. After a while, you just begin to feel that's a bad taste in your mind. You'll be like, what's the point? And people begin to withdraw their connection, begin to withdraw, and sometimes they begin to look for succor elsewhere, maybe get another job, or begin to do their own side business. You know what? I need to run my own thing. So there are different things that make people do that. So one critical thing about, regular conflict has a way of changing the atmosphere of a place. All right, so changing the atmosphere is not good for your spouse, it's not good for your children, it's not good for anybody, it's not good for creativity. So very important for you to be able to work on that.
Yes. Okay, so the other point you may want to consider is that confidential information is shared. permit me to say, with third parties.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Confidential information is shared. So you might be sitting there and wondering, why is your spouse withdrawn? Okay. Don't forget signs that your spouse may be unhappy.
Yes.
You're noticing all those signs and you're wondering what the problem is.
Yeah.
It might just be that you're sharing too much. Okay. Your spouse confides in you, and the next minute she hears it out there. Okay, this person is talking about it, or she's getting calls. Yeah, we've had this situation where okay, some people, that's just the problem, that when we talk about something, I start getting calls and people are reprimanding me about things. No, that shouldn't be happening. Okay, and this would not be happening if you realize that you are a team. You are a team. My dear husband likes to say that you should be your spouse's chiefest public relations officer. Okay, what that means is, hey dude, I got your back. Okay, I manage what goes out about you. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, but I manage what goes out. All right. So it matters what information you put out there about your spouse. Sometimes you, in the course of laughing, talking, and you're saying things that your spouse is sitting there and feeling, giving you that smile like, this is a bit too much.
I didn't know.
And you're still talking. You know, so what happens is that person decides to protect him or herself. Okay, if you're going to be talking about me like that, I think I'll take responsibility here for my own information. Okay, I'd rather not share it with you so it doesn't go out. You know, but that affects your spouse. When your spouse is unhappy, when one of you is unhappy, trust me, the state in the relationship would not be friendly. No.
Because you can't share what you don't know. The reason why you have something to share is because you know about it. So the spouse may begin to reduce the kind of private information they share with you, confidential information they share with you, and that's not going to be healthy for them. Because the thing about intimate relationships is different from platonic relationship. Platonic relationship or colleague relationships or work-based relationships, the where it's moment you say goodbye, that's where it ends for most people. All right. Some relationship cross those lines, but not usual. It's not regular. Okay, most people don't have their colleagues coming to their homes over the weekend. Yeah, just a few people here and there. Yeah, but it's not the norm. But for intimate relationship, it's expected for you to be vulnerable. It's expected for you to be trustworthy. It's expected for you to share your deeper thoughts, your aspirations, your fears, your dreams, things that just a few hand-picked people have access to. All right, so for you to now be sharing your weaknesses from the past, your mistakes from the past, and there's someone you're discussing it with, not even if it's not with bad intention, with sinister intention, it doesn't make it less painful. All right, so a doctor someone who is studying to be a doctor, operating on your child, even though they actually wanted to practice, want to learn, but don't practice on my son. Don't practice on my child. Right. Go, or someone who has not really passed the driving school, flying school, and then trying to move the plane, and then say, oh, I'm a good person, I'm really nice, but I've not completed my qualification. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not getting on this plane. Just go somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else, So sometimes people say, oh boy, you were sincerely wrong. Oh, it was really, that doesn't change the fact that if you take a knife and stab somebody, even though it's by mistake, that is going to bleed. It doesn't change that fact. So let's stop dismissing it by using, it didn't intend it that way. No, it doesn't change that fact. Yeah. The pain is pain. Let's address motive later. So one key thing here is this. When someone shares something with you, they are trusting you that you because like this, like they thought is naked and unashamed. Yeah. They're trusting you with that information that you're not going to use this against me. They're saying to you without saying that I trust you that even when we fall out later, you're not going to pull this up and use it against me. Yeah. That's why divorce is very nasty. Where people begin to use discussions, pillow talks, private text messages, the memorable moments, and they are using it as they are weaponizing those information against each other. Very nasty, very evil. All right, so one very important point whatever someone shares with you, your spouse shares with you, protect it. Not even to your own sister, not even to your own mom. You know, some people have this issue, they have an issue with their spouse. The next thing they're picking a call, they're calling their mom. Do you know that my wife did X and Y and Z? Do you know that she doesn't do this, like this, like this, like this? Do you know you've completely exposed her? She has no iota of respect in your family. And you're surprised. Hey, wake up and smell the coffee. All right, you are responsible for it.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yes. Okay, so the next point is misunderstood perspective on marriage.
Yeah.
If we understand what marriage truly is, marriage is a covenant. Okay. Now, the simplest way to understand it is that the two of us have come in together into this. We're into it for life. Okay, for the betterment of our lives. Right? And this is where the whole talk about equality, equity doesn't measure up. Okay, we have not come in to make equal contributions. Because at some point, my 50% may not be good enough.
Yes.
If we look at it that way.
Yes.
If we are doing 50-50, my 50% may not be good enough. I might put the 50 in, and what I am left with may not be as much as what you're left with.
Exactly.
If we're talking percentage.
Yes.
Right? So I am coming in with my all. Like, dude, whatever we see in here, it's us.
Yes.
We have to handle it.
Yes.
Our lives are merged. When we look at it from that perspective, I will put my life down no matter what to see that my husband's life is better. He will put his life down to see that I'm better.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can't be in that marriage and lose myself. Like, why? Why should that be happening? Okay, so when we have this misunderstood perspectives, concepts about marriage, like marriage is you bring your share, I bring my share, it just gets mixed up. It does. It affects things.
Yes. I want to bring another perspective to that. Sometimes people have unrealistic expectations in marriage. So they get into marriage, they're thinking in their head, okay, my mother really pissed me off when I was a single girl. Now I have an opportunity to get married. Let me just escape from this den of lying. Let me go and, enjoy life. Let me go and be happy. Yes, we expect you to be happy. But your spouse is not responsible for your happiness. Happiness is a personal decision. It's a personal calling. It's a personal race. You will decide to be happy. What I'm trying to tell you that happiness is not necessarily what happens from outside. Sustainable happiness. All right, so you can watch something that you like temporarily, but until you make a conscious decision, irrespective of what is happening around you, that I am going to be happy. That's when you take charge of your own happiness. You take charge of your own mental state and of your own mental well-being. All right, so don't go into marriage expecting your spouse to make you happy, expecting your spouse to do X and Y. So when they fall short, the kind of animosity or anger to which you used to relate or manage the issue, it's uncalled for. And you're wondering, but even you have not processed why you are reacting like that. It's because you have an unrealistic expectation put on this person. All right, so nobody is your savior. You are your own savior. Yeah.
So misunderstood perspective of marriage. Don't come into marriage expecting your spouse to make you unhappy, to make you happy. Okay, happiness should be internal.
Fantastic.
You bring on your game.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. All right. So another point to consider is that your spouse feels intimidated. Excuse me. So sometimes you see things like, oh, you sound like my mom, or you remind me of my father. All right. So in cases, this should not be happening again in marriage. So when one spouse feels intimidated, maybe the way you come across with things, probably the way you're great, you have great ideas, the way you present them makes this person feel like I don't even know anything. Did I go to school?
Yes.
Right? I know nothing. And sometimes you think it's a good thing when your spouse is saying to you that, oh no, anything you say,
it's a very bad thing.
No, you're crippling her intelligence or his intelligence. Okay, people should come in and be able to share what they think. That way they start rising, they start building confidence in themselves, like, oh, okay, what I shared was great. Okay, and then you see people improve that way. So if your spouse feels intimidated, there's the likelihood that spouse would not be happy in that marriage. Okay.
I remember one time I was listening to Jimmy Evans and what's the name of the wife? I've forgotten her name now, but Jimmy Evans married today.
Yeah, it's coming again.
Yes, I can't remember her name. But he said something that really stood out to me. He said that he decided, he decided that no matter, because he has a more dominant personality. I think he's a choleric. He has dominant personality, out there in your face kind of personality. But she has a more quiet, subtle, but not weak personality. Now, he said he decided, after they've had a lot of conflict, and then he said that he consciously decided that he will never make any decision until she's okay with it. So, because he got to the point where whatever they say, she will say, okay, just because she's trying to avoid conflict. Whatever you decide is cool. And he said to himself, no, I'm going to wait until you are fully persuaded. We know that all personalities are not the same. Yes. There are times we want to make, there are issues in our family that I am the one that is like this. My wife is saying, hey, let's step on the brake, let's see how this works, let's find this out. And I'm like, babe, this is an opportunity, we need to do this. There are issues where I'm the one that is like, careful, I'm not sure about it. And she say, babe, what's happening? We need to do this. Yeah. But we've come to know that anytime we run off to do something, it doesn't work. I don't know why. When I go to do something, the time my wife really vetoing it, I'm going to feel, unless maybe once in a while and I feel that this is what we really need to do. And then, as the head of the family, I will make that final call. But I better be right because
better be right.
Because you don't want, even you know that this lady has trusted you and she has a reservation. So you don't want to be in that place where, like they use in the US, they call it, I think, is it veto power they call it or something, where, I forgot that's the word, executive order or something, where you as the president, you get to do something. It's not something you want to use all the time. The natural way of doing things is to legislate. You go through lawmaking, you discuss it at the house, you discuss at the low house, higher, depending on how the system of government. So same way, family is a country, it's a nation. We discuss whether any decision. So she has to give her own input, bring her own perspective, I will bring my own perspective, and then we look at what is best for the family, not necessarily me or her. That's what mistakes some people make. They are deciding something that will pay them, and then you are expecting the other person to come along when you know that she knows that this is a selfish decision. Whatever, sometimes we make a decision that will not pay you as a person, but it pays the family units. All right? Which is a better strategy than just making a decision that pays just you or just him. All right? Something that pays the family as a unit. So nobody should be above, no one's interest should be above the family. Anything that is above an institution becomes a beast. All right? If you outgrow your family, you're not a beast. In other words, you're that person that nobody can question. You just do anything you like. Like in a country, anybody that is above the law has become a beast, has become a tyrant. No court of law, rule of law can control the person. That's not good. All right, so very, very important.
Very good. I like that. Okay, so let's just get these things under control.
Yes.
Right? It would work if every time I'm doing something, I have my husband in mind.
Yes.
How would he feel?
Fantastic.
How would he feel? You were talking about empathy. Was it in this video or the last one?
Yeah.
In the last video. Okay. Be empathetic. Wear the other's shoes. How would she feel if I were to go ahead to do this?
Yes.
In that case, I think a lot of things would be resolved. And then the last point we want to share with you in this video: lack of sexual intimacy. Yes.
Yep.
Lack of sex.
Why did you lower your voice?
Did I? Okay. Should I say it better?
No. That's why I'm not being cheeky.
Okay. So yes, that kind of affects things. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh," you hear some women say, "Oh, it's a food." No, it's not food. I mean, and the 21st century man needs more than that, right?
Yes.
We know that.
Yes.
But when that's not there, God made that for a reason.
Yes.
Okay. I was saying this somewhere and someone queried it when I said it's an outlet for stress.
Yes.
Right? Yes, it relieves stress.
It
okay.
is.
And then I took a survey and realized that yes, it works for a lot of men. So it's still valid.
Yes.
Yes, it's an outlet for men.
Yes.
They let out steam. They let that way and they feel better.
Yes.
Okay, to get on. You know, I don't want to give my husband the chance to talk about his experience, not in this video. Okay, so let's not watch out the 2 minutes.
No, but it's not bad. It's not bad. And the key thing there is this: sometimes when you have an expectation about the frequency of the sex that is not discussed, or your spouse is not meeting up to that expectation, you know, some spouse can be unhappy. Sometimes it might be the male, sometimes it might be the female. It doesn't have to. But the general conception is that most times it's for the male that wants it more. But sometimes it can be the female.
Yes.
And sometimes it might be they've tried different things and they want something new, something different. All right. So, and their other spouse is unwilling, all right, to yield or to explore. All right. That can also bring some frustration. All right. But we always put a caveat here. Anything around sex that you're asking your spouse must be something that doesn't demean them as a person. Demean them means that after they do it, they feel less, they feel dirty. That's not good. Anything that hurts them or cause a tear, or you know, that's not good. Anything that objectifies them, use them as an object that doesn't have an emotion, that's not very advisable.
That's true. That's true. Yes. Okay. So lack of sex could make your one spouse unhappy. Okay, because that person needs an outlet.
Yes.
Don't ignore it. All right. So if you haven't seen the other part of this, you may want to watch it. Having reached the end of this video, it's been nice doing this with you.
Yes.
And I would always want to ask you to take advantage of the free 1 hour session we have for our intimacy builder program.
Yes.
It's a coaching program, an 8-week program, but we give a free 1 hour session, and we have seen couples take advantage of it, and I mean they're having a better life.
Fantastic.
All right, so until we come your way in another video, it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye. Thank you. Love it, share it, engage with us.
Subscribe.
YouTube will help us push the video to more people who need it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.